Do you know why your mind becomes most agitated precisely when you need to rest? There you are, exhausted from the day, your body crying out for sleep, yet the moment your head touches the pillow, thoughts begin racing like wild horses. Every worry you managed to push aside during the day suddenly demands attention. Every conversation replays itself with perfect clarity. Every tomorrow problem insists on being solved tonight, right now, in this moment when all you want is peace. It's as if your mind has been waiting all day for this moment of stillness to unleash its chaos, to torment you with every fear, every regret, every anxiety you've been carrying. I understand this torment because I lived it for 47 years. Night after night, I would lie there feeling betrayed by my own consciousness, wondering why the very mind that served me during the day became my enemy when darkness fell. The harder I tried to sleep, the more awake I became. The more I fought the thoughts, the louder they grew, cascading through my awareness like an endless waterfall of worry. I believed something was fundamentally wrong with me, some broken piece in my psyche that couldn't be fixed. Why could everyone else simply close their eyes and drift away while I remained prisoner to my restless mind, captive to thoughts that seemed determined to steal my rest? I tried everything the world offered for sleeplessness. Medications that left me groggy and disconnected the next day, as if I were viewing life through thick glass. Meditation apps that worked for a few nights before losing their power. Breathing techniques that helped momentarily before my mind would grab hold of them and turn even relaxation into another task to be performed perfectly. Sleep hygiene rules that made bedtime feel like a military operation rather than a gentle transition into rest. Nothing lasted. Nothing truly worked. I began to believe that peaceful sleep was something other people experienced, but not me, never me. It was on a Tuesday evening at 11:43 p.m., after another night of staring at shadows on the ceiling, that everything changed. I had spent the entire day in a fog of exhaustion, my body aching for rest that never came, my mind sharp with the cruel clarity that comes from chronic sleeplessness. As I lay there in my darkened bedroom, surrounded by 47 years of sleepless nights and failed attempts at peace, something inside me surrendered, not to defeat, but to possibility. In my exhaustion, I whispered something I had never tried before. Instead of fighting the noise in my head, instead of demanding that my thoughts behave differently, I decided to give my mind different words to work with. Words that Louise Hay had written about the power of the last thought before sleep, the final instruction we give to our unconscious before 8 hours of creation. I placed my hand on my heart, felt the soft cotton of my nightgown against my palm, and whispered 7 simple words into the darkness of my bedroom, words that would change everything about how I understood rest, healing, and the sacred relationship between consciousness and sleep. What happened next defied everything I thought I knew about my body, my mind, my capacity for peace. As these 7 words left my lips, I felt something I hadn't experienced in decades. A warmth began in my chest, spreading slowly through my arms like honey being poured from some divine source. My breathing, which had been shallow and anxious for as long as I could remember, suddenly deepened into a rhythm I had never known was possible. The racing thoughts didn't disappear, but they began to soften, like voices heard through water, present but no longer demanding, urgent but no longer overwhelming. For the first time in 47 years, I fell asleep, not through exhaustion, not through medication, not through sheer force of will, but through peace. I slept for 8 uninterrupted hours and woke feeling something I had thought was a myth, something I had heard other people describe but never experienced myself: genuine rest. Not just the absence of tiredness, but the presence of vitality. My body felt soft where it had been tight, clear where it had been foggy, renewed where it had been depleted. I felt like someone had given me back a part of myself I had lost so long ago I had forgotten it was missing. That morning, as I looked at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, I saw someone I barely recognized. The tension lines around my eyes had softened. The dark circles that had been my constant companions were lighter. But more than the physical changes, there was something in my eyes that hadn't been there for years. Hope. Not hope that maybe tonight would be better, but the quiet certainty that I had found something real, something that could transform not just my sleep, but my entire relationship with rest, with peace, with my own capacity for healing. That night taught me something profound about the relationship between consciousness and healing, something that Louise Hay understood long before modern science began to validate it. Sleep is not merely rest for the body, a pause in our daily activities while we wait for morning. Sleep is the sacred time when our subconscious mind processes, repairs, and literally recreates our reality. The words we speak in those final moments before sleep become the instructions our unconscious follows for 8 hours of creation. We are literally programming our dreams, our healing, our tomorrow's experience through the last thoughts we think as consciousness fades. If you have ever struggled with restless nights, if you know the frustration of a mind that won't quiet when you most need peace, if you've ever felt like your own thoughts were holding you hostage in your own bed, I want you to know that what I'm about to share can transform not just your sleep, but your entire relationship with rest itself. If this story resonates with your heart, if you recognize yourself in this struggle, if something inside you is saying, yes, this is what I need to hear, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Each week, there is a new teaching waiting for you, a gentle guide back to the peace that is your birthright, the rest that your soul is craving. As you listen to these words, as you feel them settling into your consciousness, notice what emotions are arising within you. Is it relief at being understood, at hearing your own experience reflected back to you? Is it hope that maybe, just maybe, change is possible? Perhaps it's skepticism mixed with longing, the part of you that wants to believe, while another part whispers that you've tried everything before. Whatever you're feeling, honor it completely. Go to the comments below and share it with me. Tell me, what does your mind do when you try to sleep? What thoughts visit you in the darkness? There is no right or wrong answer, only your truth. And in speaking your truth, in acknowledging your experience without judgment, you begin the healing that will transform your nights forever. Right now, wherever you are listening to these words, I want you to prepare for something sacred, something that will begin to shift your relationship with rest immediately. If you can, lie down in a comfortable position. If you're unable to lie down, simply sit comfortably and allow your spine to be straight but not rigid, supported but not tense. Close your eyes gently, as if you're drawing curtains across the windows of your soul, creating a sacred space within yourself where transformation can occur. Place one hand on your heart and feel the steady rhythm that has been faithfully keeping time since before you were born. This heart that beats approximately 100,000 times each day, pumping life through every cell of your body, asking nothing of you in return except the recognition that you are already whole, already perfect, already deserving of the deepest rest and the most complete healing. Feel the warmth of your palm against your chest. This simple touch is where healing begins, with the recognition that you are not broken, that you don't need to be fixed, that you need only to remember what your body already knows about peace. Now we will learn together the practice that changed everything for me and has transformed the lives of thousands of others. It begins with breath, but this is not ordinary breathing. This is sacred breathing, intentional breathing, healing breathing that signals to every cell in your body that it is safe to let go, safe to release, safe to trust the natural rhythm of rest and renewal that is your birthright. I will guide you through what Louise called the 4-7-8 breath, the rhythm that speaks directly to your nervous system in its own language, telling it that the day is complete, that vigilance can rest, that healing can begin. This breathing pattern activates what researchers call the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest response that allows your body to shift from survival mode into restoration mode. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 counts, feeling the air enter your body like a gift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel your belly rising like a gentle wave, your ribcage expanding, your entire torso opening to receive life itself. This breath is not just air, it is the first medicine, the foundation upon which all healing rests. Now hold that breath for 7 counts, feeling the life force gathering in your lungs, in your blood, in every cell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In this pause, in this sacred holding, energy is building, peace is accumulating, healing is preparing to flow through your entire being. Now exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 counts, releasing not just air, but everything that no longer serves you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As you release this breath, imagine all tension flowing out with it, all worry dissolving, all struggle leaving your body like smoke dissipating in an open field. Feel how your shoulders drop, how your jaw unclenches, how something deep within you sighs with relief and recognition. Let's continue this sacred breathing together. Inhale for 4 counts, feeling peace entering every cell. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7 counts, feeling strength and calm building within you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 8 counts, feeling everything that creates sleeplessness leaving your body forever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your body is already beginning to remember what it feels like to prepare for healing sleep. Again, breathe in peace, hold in power, release all that is not love. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold now, feeling this life force gathering like golden light in your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And release, sending out with your breath every thought that has ever kept you awake, every worry that has ever stolen your rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time, drawing in the essence of calm, the vibration of perfect rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding the energy of complete peace, feeling it saturating every organ, every muscle, every nerve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And releasing everything that stands between you and the sleep you deserve, the healing you need, the peace that is already yours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now comes the moment that will reprogram your sleep forever. These 7 words carry within them the frequency of healing itself, the vibration that speaks directly to your subconscious mind in the language it understands best. The language of love, of safety, of peace, of trust in your body's infinite wisdom. We will speak these words together 3 times, each repetition planting them deeper into the soil of your consciousness, where they can grow into a new reality of restful nights and healing mornings. First, repeat them with me in a whisper, as if sharing the most precious secret with your own soul. I sleep in peace. I wake in healing. Let the words float on your breath like prayers offered to the sacred intelligence that governs all life. I sleep in peace. I wake in healing. Feel how these words resonate in your chest, how they settle into your heart like seeds finding the perfect soil in which to grow. Whisper them again. I sleep in peace. I wake in healing, feeling their truth beginning to take root in the deepest part of your being. Now say these words in your normal voice, with gentle conviction, with the clarity of someone who is choosing truth over fear, peace over struggle, healing over suffering. I sleep in peace, I wake in healing. Let the words flow through you like a river that has finally found its natural course, carrying away everything that is not aligned with rest and restoration. I sleep in peace, I wake in healing. Notice how your body responds to these words, how your breathing naturally deepens, how something ancient within you recognizes this truth as the way things are meant to be. Now speak these words as a decree, with the authority of someone who knows their infinite worth, who understands that peaceful sleep and healing awakening are not luxuries to be earned, but birthrights to be claimed. I sleep in peace, I wake in healing. Let the words ring with the certainty of universal law, with the power of consciousness aligned with love. I sleep in peace, I wake in healing. Feel how these words create a bridge between your conscious intention and your unconscious reception, between what you desire and what you are now declaring to be your reality. Pause for a moment in this sacred silence. What are you feeling right now? Is there a sense of relaxation beginning to flow through your body like warm honey? A subtle shift in your energy from striving to allowing? Perhaps a gentle warmth spreading through your limbs as your nervous system receives this new message of safety and peace? Maybe you feel a softening in your chest, an opening in your heart, a quiet yes from your soul that recognizes these words as truth. Whatever you're experiencing in this moment, honor it completely. Your body is responding to the vibration of love, and every sensation, every shift, every subtle change is perfect exactly as it is. Some people feel immediate relaxation. Others notice a gentle warmth. Some experience a deep sense of coming home to themselves. There is no wrong way to receive this healing. No incorrect response to love offered with pure intention. While you integrate this new feeling, this emerging relationship with conscious rest, I want you to share with me in the comments below. Which of the three elements we just practiced together called to you most strongly? Was it the sacred breathing pattern that seemed to unlock something in your nervous system? Was it the repetition of the words that felt like coming home to a truth you had always known but forgotten? Or was it the progression from whisper to decree that awakened your sense of personal power over your sleep experience? What is it about this practice that you feel, in your heart, could transform your nights from struggle into sanctuary? I want to hear your story, your hopes, your discoveries, your immediate experience of this moment. Your sharing helps me understand what your soul most needs to hear next on this journey back to peaceful sleep. Let me explain something that Louise Hay discovered through years of working with the unconscious mind. Something that revolutionized not only her understanding of sleep, but her entire approach to healing. The 8 hours you spend in sleep are not passive time, empty hours when life pauses while you wait for morning to return. They are the most creative, most transformative, most powerfully generative hours of your entire 24-hour cycle. While your conscious mind rests, while your daily personality steps aside, your subconscious mind becomes the artist of your reality, painting tomorrow's experiences with the colors of tonight's final thoughts. This is not mystical thinking disconnected from practical reality. This is neuroscience meeting spiritual wisdom, modern research validating ancient understanding about the relationship between consciousness and creation. During sleep, your brain enters what researchers call neuroplastic states, periods of extraordinary malleability when new neural pathways form with remarkable ease, when old patterns can be dissolved and new ones established with a fluidity that is impossible during waking consciousness. The thoughts you hold as you transition from waking to sleeping become the templates your unconscious mind uses to organize information, process emotions, and quite literally rewire your brain for greater harmony or greater suffering. Your subconscious doesn't judge your thoughts as good or bad, helpful or harmful. It simply takes whatever you have offered it and works tirelessly through the night to make that inner reality your outer experience. Louise understood something that modern science is only beginning to validate in sleep laboratories and neuroscience research centers around the world. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality, between what you fear might happen and what you declare will happen, between thoughts of scarcity and thoughts of abundance. During sleep, when the critical, analytical mind releases its grip on your consciousness, your deeper mind takes whatever you have given it and spends 8 hours strengthening the neural pathways that match those thoughts, those feelings, those beliefs about yourself and your world. This is why the last words you speak to yourself before sleep, the final thoughts you think as consciousness fades, are among the most powerful words you will ever utter. They become the instructions your unconscious mind follows for 1/3 of your life. They become the seeds from which tomorrow's experiences grow. They become the foundation upon which your body builds its experience of health or illness. Your mind creates its experience of peace or anxiety. Your spirit manifests its experience of connection or separation. When you lie down filled with complaints about the day that has passed, rehearsing tomorrow's problems before they arrive, reviewing every conversation that went wrong, every opportunity that was missed, every reason to worry about what might happen, your unconscious spends 8 hours strengthening neural pathways of stress, anxiety, and anticipation of difficulty. But when you consciously choose words of peace, healing, gratitude, and trust, When you deliberately offer your subconscious mind thoughts of love rather than fear, you give it the materials to build a more harmonious reality while you sleep. This is not positive thinking, disconnected from practical results. This is literal reprogramming of your nervous system. Conscious collaboration with your body's natural healing intelligence, deliberate partnership with the creative power that operates within you every moment of every day. You are literally healing in your sleep when you give your unconscious mind healing thoughts to work with through the night. Many people tell me they have tried relaxation techniques before, and nothing worked for more than a few nights. They say their minds are too busy, too anxious, too trained in patterns of worry to ever find lasting peace. They believe their sleeplessness is genetic, permanent, incurable. Place your hand on your heart right now. Feel that steady rhythm that never stops its faithful service, and understand this profound truth. Your resistance is not your enemy. Your resistance is information. It shows you exactly where healing wants to happen, exactly where old patterns are ready to dissolve, exactly where new possibilities are waiting to emerge. Sarah from Montana, a 63-year-old teacher, wrote to tell me that for 4 decades she believed her insomnia was simply part of who she was, as unchangeable as her eye color or her height. She had tried every medication, every meditation app, every technique recommended by sleep specialists. Some things helped temporarily, but nothing created lasting change. The pattern was always the same. A few good nights, followed by weeks of struggle, hope followed by disappointment, temporary relief, followed by the return of familiar sleeplessness. Then Sarah began speaking these 7 words each night before sleep. I sleep in peace. I wake in healing. She told me honestly that she didn't believe them at first. They felt foreign in her mouth, too simple to address such a complex problem, too gentle to overcome decades of insomnia. But something inside her whispered, try anyway, and she listened to that voice. She said them anyway, night after night, even when her mind protested that nothing was changing. By the 7th night, something subtle shifted in her nervous system. She couldn't identify exactly what was different, but falling asleep felt slightly easier, like a door that had been stuck for years had loosened just enough to open. By the 21st night, she realized she was no longer lying awake for hours fighting her thoughts. By day 30, sleep had become something she looked forward to, rather than something she dreaded. By day 60, she wrote to me saying that sleep had become her sanctuary, her daily return to peace, her most reliable source of healing and renewal. The body believes every thought we think, every word we speak, every emotion we feel. This is not metaphor. This is physiology. When we say, I can't sleep, every cell receives that message, and the body obediently creates the biochemical state of wakefulness. When we say, my mind won't quiet, the nervous system maintains a state of alertness that makes rest impossible. But when we consciously choose to speak peace over ourselves, when we deliberately plant seeds of healing in the garden of sleep, the body receives a completely different message. It hears, it is safe to let go now. It is time to restore. It is time to heal. If you are truly feeling this shift beginning within you, if you are starting to understand that sleep can be medicine instead of struggle, sanctuary instead of battlefield, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. What I am showing you tonight is only the beginning. There are layers upon layers of wisdom waiting to transform not just your nights, but your entire relationship with rest, with healing, with the sacred rhythm of renewal that your soul craves and your body requires for optimal functioning. This understanding, this foundation we are building together, is where everything else rests. Sleep is not escape from life. Sleep is return to life. It is the daily death and resurrection that allows you to meet each new day as a new being, unburdened by yesterday's struggles, open to today's possibilities, restored to your natural state of peace and wholeness. Tonight, tomorrow night, every night for the rest of your life, you have the opportunity to die to everything that no longer serves you and wake as someone who knows, beyond any doubt, that healing is not only possible, but inevitable when you align with the natural intelligence of love. Now that you understand the foundational power of conscious sleep preparation, let me share with you 3 additional practices that will amplify your healing journey exponentially. These are not complicated rituals requiring special equipment or extensive training. They are simple acts of love that prepare your entire being for the sacred work of nocturnal restoration, each one building upon the foundation we have already established together. The first practice I call Forgiveness Express, a 30-second ritual that releases the accumulated emotional weight of the day completely before you enter sleep. Throughout each day, we collect experiences like a magnet collecting metal filings. Some experiences are pleasant, some difficult, some neutral, but all of them leave energetic residue that can interfere with deep sleep, if not consciously released. This practice ensures that you enter sleep empty of everything except love. Before you speak your healing mantra, before you begin your sacred breathing, place both hands on your heart and feel the warmth of your palms against your chest. Close your eyes and speak these words silently, allowing them to flow through your consciousness like clear water washing away dust. I forgive this day for any moment I forgot my worth. I forgive myself for any moment I forgot my power. I forgive every person who crossed my path for being exactly where they were in their own journey of awakening. I release every conversation, every disappointment, every fear, every regret into the hands of infinite love. This day is complete, and I am free. Feel how this simple release creates space in your chest, room for peace to enter where tension once lived. Notice how your breathing naturally deepens as you let go of what you've been carrying. This is not about analyzing what happened or deciding whether your feelings were justified. This is about clearing the energetic slate so that sleep can do its healing work without interference from the day's accumulated stress. The second practice is a decree of protection for your sleeping hours, a conscious boundary that ensures your subconscious receives only the highest frequencies during its most receptive state. Your unconscious mind is most open during sleep, which means it needs clear instructions about what energy to receive and what to reject. This practice creates a sacred circle of love around your sleep experience. Before closing your eyes for the night, speak these words with gentle authority, feeling their truth settle into your bones. As I sleep, I am surrounded by divine love. Only healing thoughts may enter my dreams. Only peace may touch my spirit. Only wisdom may guide my rest. I am protected by the same intelligence that beats my heart and grows new cells and heals my body without my conscious effort. I sleep under the wing of infinite love, and I wake blessed, protected, and whole. This decree is not superstition or wishful thinking. It is conscious collaboration with the loving intelligence that already surrounds you every moment. A deliberate invitation for healing energy to have free access to your consciousness while you rest. When you speak these words with sincere intention, you create an energetic environment that supports the deepest possible restoration. The third practice transforms your physical body into a vessel of healing light, ensuring that every cell participates consciously in the restoration process. As you settle into your bed, as you feel the support of your mattress beneath you and your covers around you, close your eyes and begin to imagine a warm, golden light beginning to glow at the crown of your head. See this light as the most beautiful healing energy you can imagine, warm but not hot, bright but not harsh, powerful but gentle. Watch it begin to flow slowly downward, moving through your scalp like honey, releasing every bit of mental tension from the day. Feel it moving into your forehead, smoothing away worry lines, into your eyes, washing away everything they have seen that caused stress. Let it flow into your cheeks, your jaw, releasing every word you spoke in frustration, every smile you forced when you didn't feel like smiling. Watch this golden light pour into your neck, dissolving the tension you carry from holding your head up all day, supporting the weight of your thoughts and responsibilities. Feel it streaming through your shoulders, releasing every burden you have carried, every responsibility that isn't truly yours to bear. Let it flow down your arms, into your hands, washing away everything you have grasped too tightly, everything you have tried to control that was meant to flow freely. See the light filling your chest, your heart center, warming every place that has felt cold or closed or hurt. Feel it expanding your lungs, making space for deeper breathing, for fuller living. Watch it pour into your abdomen, your digestive system, helping your body process not just food, but experiences, emotions, the full spectrum of what it means to be human. Let it flow through your hips, releasing tension from sitting, from carrying, from moving through the world in a body that works so hard to serve you. Feel this golden healing light streaming down through your thighs, your knees, your calves, washing away the fatigue of standing, walking, running through your days. Let it flow into your feet, these faithful supporters that carry you everywhere you need to go, often without acknowledgement or gratitude. You are now completely encased in healing light, every cell bathed in love, every organ singing with peace, every system of your body receiving the message that it is safe to rest, safe to restore, safe to heal completely. I want to share with you how these practices worked for Keiko, a 41-year-old artist from Seattle. For 38 years, she had gone to bed feeling vulnerable and exposed, as if the night held threats she couldn't name or understand. Even when she was exhausted, even when she desperately needed sleep, part of her remained vigilant, listening for danger that never came but felt entirely real. She would lie in bed feeling like her skin was too thin, like she had no protection from the energies around her. When Keiko began using these three practices together, the forgiveness release, the protection decree, and the golden light visualization, something fundamental shifted in her relationship with nighttime. She told me that her bedroom began to feel like a sanctuary, instead of a place where she had to guard against invisible threats. The combination of releasing the day, consciously creating boundaries, and filling her body with healing light created what she described as a cocoon of absolute peace. Instead of dreading the approach of night, Keiko began looking forward to her sacred time of renewal. Her sleep became deeper, her dreams more beautiful, her mornings brighter. She said it was as if she had discovered a secret room in her own house that had always been there, waiting for her to find the key. These practices were that key, opening a door to restoration she hadn't known was possible. Think about this for a moment. Of these three practices I have shared with you tonight, which one calls to you most strongly? Is it the forgiveness express that releases the accumulated weight of each day, allowing you to enter sleep with a clean, energetic slate? Is it the protection decree that creates sacred boundaries around your rest, ensuring that only healing energy touches your consciousness while you sleep? Or is it the golden light visualization that transforms your physical body into a temple of restoration, every cell participating consciously in the healing process? Which practice resonates most deeply in your heart, speaks most directly to what your soul needs right now? Share with me in the comments which one you feel most drawn to implement tomorrow night, and why. Your choice will tell me what aspect of healing sleep your spirit is most ready to embrace, what doorway to restoration is opening most naturally for you right now. You have the power, right now in this moment, to completely transform your relationship with sleep, and that power extends far beyond simple relaxation techniques or mechanical approaches to rest. Tonight, I want to teach you practices that turn your sleeping hours into active healing sessions, sacred times when your conscious intention partners with your body's natural intelligence to create the wellness, peace, and restoration you deserve at the deepest possible level. The fourth practice I call conversation with your body, a profound shift from viewing your physical form as something separate from your consciousness to understanding it as your most intimate partner in this journey of life and healing. Before sleep, instead of ignoring your body or rushing past its needs, you will speak directly to your physical form as you would to the most beloved friend, acknowledging its constant service, expressing gratitude for its tireless efforts, and giving it specific instructions for optimal restoration. Begin by placing your hands on different parts of your body, making physical contact as you speak. Touch your forehead gently and say, "Dear mind, precious consciousness, thank you for thinking, planning, creating, and problem-solving throughout this day. You have worked so hard to navigate challenges, make decisions, and process information. Tonight, I give you permission to rest completely. Let go of every worry, every plan, every concern. Sleep deeply and dream of solutions that serve my highest good. Dream of peace, of clarity, of wisdom flowing effortlessly into every area of my life. Place your hands on your heart and feel its steady rhythm as you whisper, "Beautiful heart, courageous heart, thank you for loving, for feeling, for staying open even when the world seemed harsh. Thank you for pumping life through every cell, for never taking a break from your service. Tonight, heal any place that feels wounded, any corner that has closed to protect itself from pain. Fill with joy, with love, with the knowing that you are safe to feel everything fully because you are held in infinite love. Rest your hands on your abdomen and say with deep appreciation, wise body, intelligent digestion, miraculous system of processing and transformation. Thank you for breaking down not just food, but experiences, emotions, the full complexity of human existence. You work so hard to extract nourishment from everything I give you. Tonight, restore perfect balance to every organ, every system. Release what doesn't serve, absorb what heals, and wake tomorrow in complete harmony. Move your hands to your legs and speak to them with recognition of their faithful service. Strong legs, steady supporters, thank you for carrying me through this world, for standing when I needed strength, for moving when I needed change, for holding me up through every challenge. Rest now, restore now. Wake tomorrow, ready to carry me toward my dreams with ease and grace. The fifth practice anchors conscious gratitude for the miraculous regeneration that happens automatically in your body during deep sleep. Processes so complex and beautiful that they dwarf any technology humans have ever created. Most people are completely unaware that during the deepest stages of sleep, your body releases growth hormone that literally rebuilds your tissues, repairs cellular damage, strengthens your immune system, and creates new neural pathways in your brain. You can consciously collaborate with these processes instead of sleeping through them unconsciously. As you settle into the transition between waking and sleeping, whisper with deep appreciation, I am grateful for the healing happening in my body right now. Every breath I take while sleeping delivers oxygen to every cell, restoring and renewing my entire being. Every beat of my heart while I rest sends love and life force to every organ, every system, every corner of my physical form. Every moment of deep sleep releases healing hormones that repair what needs repairing, strengthen what needs strengthening, and create what needs creating. Continue with growing appreciation. I am grateful that my body knows exactly how to heal itself without my conscious effort. While I sleep, millions of cells are regenerating, new pathways are forming in my brain, my immune system is strengthening, my spirit is renewing itself. Every hour of rest multiplies my vitality. Every moment of deep sleep adds to my reservoir of health, peace, and joy. I wake tomorrow morning more whole than I was today, more vibrant, more alive, more connected to the infinite source of healing that flows through all life. The science behind these practices is remarkable, documenting measurable changes in brainwave patterns, hormone production, and cellular regeneration when people consciously participate in their sleep healing rather than approaching rest as passive downtime. But the spiritual truth is even more profound and transformative. Your body is not a machine that simply wears down over time, requiring external fixes and interventions to keep functioning. It is a living expression of consciousness, constantly responding to the thoughts and words you offer it, continuously creating your physical experience based on the quality of your inner dialogue. When you speak to your body with love, when you acknowledge its intelligence and wisdom, when you actively participate in the healing process instead of hoping it happens automatically without your involvement, you align with the natural regenerative power that is your birthright as a living being. You step into conscious partnership with the force that grows flowers from seeds, heals cuts without scars, and creates life from love. Louise taught that every cell in your body is listening to your inner dialogue every moment of every day, but during sleep, when the conscious mind's constant chatter finally quiets, your cells can hear your deepest intentions with remarkable clarity and respond with extraordinary efficiency. This is why bedtime affirmations and conscious sleep preparation are exponentially more powerful than daytime positive thinking. You are literally reprogramming your body at the cellular level during the hours when it is most receptive to new instructions. Consciousness and healing are not separate processes happening independently in your life. They are one dance, one conversation, one sacred collaboration between your awareness and your physical form. When you choose to end each day with words of love rather than criticism, gratitude rather than complaint, peace rather than worry, trust rather than fear, you give your body the energetic environment it needs to perform its miraculous work of self-renewal at the deepest possible level. You have the power to make sleep your greatest ally in creating the life you desire. You have the power to turn 8 hours of unconsciousness into 8 hours of active transformation. You have the power to wake each morning, not just rested, but renewed, not just refreshed, but literally reborn, carrying in your cells the vibration of the love and healing you consciously invited during your hours of rest. This power has always been yours, flowing through you since the moment you were born. Tonight you simply choose to use it consciously, deliberately, with the full awareness of someone who understands that healing is not something that happens to you, but something you actively participate in with every thought, every word, every intention you offer to the sacred intelligence that lives within you. The truth about healing through conscious sleep is that the process unfolds in a natural rhythm, like seasons changing or flowers blooming, with each phase carrying its own gifts and providing unmistakable evidence that you are moving steadily toward the restoration your soul craves. When you begin implementing these practices with sincere intention and gentle consistency, your transformation unfolds in 5 distinct phases, each one building upon the previous, each one offering its own confirmations that profound healing has begun at the deepest levels of your being. During days 1 through 3, what I call the initiation phase, you will notice that falling asleep becomes noticeably easier. Not necessarily immediate, because decades of sleeplessness don't disappear overnight, but the struggle definitely begins to diminish in ways you can feel. Instead of lying awake for hours, fighting the endless stream of thoughts, wrestling with your mind like trying to calm a wild animal, you may find yourself drifting off within 20 to 30 minutes of beginning your practice. Your dreams during this phase often become more vivid, sometimes startling you with their clarity and beauty, as if someone had adjusted the contrast and brightness settings on your inner vision. This increase in dream vividness is your subconscious mind beginning to reorganize itself around the new instructions you've been giving it each night. Dreams of flying become more common, as do dreams of being surrounded by healing light, dreams of conversations with wise figures who offer guidance, dreams of being in beautiful natural settings that feel more real than waking life. All of these indicate that healing has begun at the deepest levels of consciousness, that your psyche is restructuring itself around peace rather than anxiety, love rather than fear. By day 7, most people experience what I call the confirmation phase, a clear signal from your body and spirit that this new way of approaching sleep serves your highest good. You begin waking naturally, often just before your alarm sounds, feeling genuinely rested for the first time in years, instead of dragging yourself from bed like pulling up an anchor from the bottom of the ocean. Your energy throughout the day feels different, more stable, less dependent on caffeine or willpower to maintain. Marianne from Phoenix told me that on her 7th morning of practice, she opened her eyes at exactly 6:47 a.m., feeling like she had been bathed in golden honey throughout the night. Her body felt soft where it had been tight, clear where it had been foggy, renewed where it had been depleted. She said it was as if someone had given her back a part of herself she had lost so long ago she had forgotten it was missing. This is your nervous system's way of saying, yes, this new way of sleeping serves us beautifully. Continue exactly as you are. During week 2, the integration phase begins in earnest. Sleep becomes not just easier to achieve, but actually restorative in ways you may not have experienced since childhood. You start noticing physical improvements that extend far beyond simply feeling less tired. Chronic tension in your shoulders begins to release spontaneously. Digestive issues that have plagued you for months or even years start resolving without additional interventions. Your skin takes on a different quality, softer, more radiant, as if lit from within by some gentle source of light. This is because your body is finally receiving the deep, healing sleep it needs to perform its miraculous work of repair and regeneration. During the deepest stages of sleep, when you're no longer fighting to fall asleep or staying partially alert through the night, your body releases maximum amounts of growth hormone, your immune system strengthens, your brain processes and integrates the day's experiences in healthy ways, and every system works together in the harmony that creates optimal health. Week 3 brings what I call the visible transformation phase, when the changes occurring within you become apparent to others. People begin commenting that you look different, though they often can't identify exactly what has changed. There's a peace in your eyes that wasn't there before, a softness in your facial expressions, a calmness in your overall presence that draws people to you. You may notice that conversations feel easier, that conflicts resolve more smoothly, that you're naturally more patient and understanding with others. Benjamin from Ohio wrote to tell me that after 3 weeks of conscious sleep practice, his wife said he looked 10 years younger and asked if he had started some new health regimen. When he explained about the bedtime practices, she was amazed that such simple changes could create such visible results. This is when sleep shifts from being something you do to something sacred you experience, a nightly return to the source of your being, a daily resurrection that renews not just your body, but your entire approach to life. By the end of your first month, you reach what I call the identity phase, perhaps the most profound transformation of all. Sleep is no longer a challenge you must overcome each night, a battle you might win or lose depending on circumstances beyond your control. It has become your sanctuary, your refuge, your most reliable and trusted tool for maintaining wellness in every area of your life. You actually begin looking forward to bedtime because you know it means 8 hours of active healing, restoration, and renewal. Your bedroom transforms from a place associated with struggle into a sacred space associated with peace. Your bedtime routine becomes less like following rules and more like participating in a ceremony that honors the miraculous intelligence of your body and spirit. You have become someone who sleeps in peace and wakes in healing, not as an aspiration you're working toward, but as a simple fact of your daily experience, as natural and reliable as breathing. I want to acknowledge honestly that this journey is not always perfectly linear, moving smoothly from one phase to the next without any backward steps or challenging nights. There will be occasions when the old patterns try to reassert themselves, when stress from your waking life creates temporary interference with your sleep, when worry creeps back in despite your best intentions, when your mind races even after you've done all your practices perfectly. When these nights occur, and they will occur because you are human and growth is rarely a straight line, please understand that they don't mean you're failing or that the practices don't work. They mean you're in process, evolving, integrating profound changes at the deepest levels of your being. These temporary setbacks are actually part of the healing, opportunities for your commitment to deepen, chances to practice self-compassion when things don't go exactly as planned. Tell me in the comments, as you listen to these 5 phases of transformation, which one resonates most strongly with where you are right now in your relationship with sleep and healing? Are you in the beginning phase, hoping to fall asleep more easily and looking forward to your first nights of deeper rest? Are you in the integration phase, beginning to notice that your body is healing in ways that extend beyond just getting more sleep? Are you recognizing yourself in the visible transformation phase, where others are commenting on changes they see in you? Knowing where you are in this journey helps me understand what guidance will serve you best next. Share your current experience with me. Tell me what you're noticing, what you're hoping for, what challenges you're facing. I want to witness your journey and offer support that meets you exactly where you are right now. Here is where most people encounter their greatest test, right here in the space between wanting change and trusting the process enough to see it through completely. When progress feels slower than expected, when old patterns surface during stressful periods, when the mind whispers that this couldn't possibly work for someone with problems as complex as yours. You are not most people. You are someone who has chosen healing over suffering, someone who has chosen peace over struggle, someone who has chosen to reclaim your birthright of restorative sleep. That choice, that willingness, that commitment to your own well-being makes all the difference in the world. Let us speak with complete honesty about what specifically blocks your path to healing sleep, because understanding these obstacles is essential to moving through them with wisdom rather than fighting them with force. Each resistance you encounter is not your enemy trying to keep you from peace. It is information from your psyche, showing you exactly where your deepest healing wants to occur, exactly where old patterns are ready to dissolve if you approach them with understanding rather than judgment. The first obstacle is the mind that simply will not quiet, thoughts cascading like an endless waterfall the moment you close your eyes and attempt to rest. You lie down with the best intentions, begin your breathing practice, start your affirmations, and within moments, your thoughts begin their familiar dance. Plans for tomorrow demand immediate attention. Conversations from today replay with perfect clarity, allowing you to think of 17 better responses you could have given. Worries about next month insist on being solved right now, in this moment when all you want is peace. This feels like failure, but it is actually a sign of progress that most people don't recognize. Your mind is not torturing you. It is releasing what it has been holding all day, processing experiences and emotions that need attention before deep healing can occur. Instead of fighting these thoughts like an enemy army invading your peaceful territory, thank them for their service and gently redirect your attention to your mantra. Each time you return to, I sleep in peace, I wake in healing, you are not failing to maintain concentration. You are strengthening your capacity for conscious choice, building the mental muscle that chooses love over fear, peace over struggle. The second obstacle is fear of nightmares or disturbing dreams, an anxiety that keeps many people from relaxing completely into deep sleep. This fear often operates below conscious awareness, creating a subtle vigilance that prevents the total surrender necessary for healing rest. Some people unconsciously worry that if they let their guard down completely, if they release control during sleep, unwanted experiences will flood their consciousness. This fear frequently stems from past trauma, current stress, or simply the habit of hypervigilance that develops after years of difficult life experiences. The protection decree we practiced earlier directly addresses this concern, but understanding the fear itself is equally important. Your unconscious mind is actually very wise about protecting you, and it won't allow you to enter vulnerable states unless it feels completely safe. When you consciously surround yourself with divine love before sleep, when you clearly state that only healing energy may enter your dreams, you create a sacred boundary that your unconscious mind recognizes and trusts. You are not fighting your protective instincts. You are giving them better information about what true safety feels like. The third obstacle is guilt about deserving rest, a resistance that may surprise you, but affects far more people than you might imagine. Many individuals carry deep shame about their need for 8 hours of sleep, as if requiring substantial rest somehow makes them weak, lazy, or less worthy than people who seem to function well on minimal sleep. This guilt often connects to childhood messages about productivity, worth being earned through constant doing, and love being conditional upon performance rather than freely given because you exist. If this resonates with your experience, please understand that sleep is not selfishness. Rest is not laziness. Your need for healing sleep is not a character flaw that needs to be overcome. Sleep is stewardship of the precious life you have been given. Care for the miraculous body that serves you faithfully every moment of every day. You cannot serve others, create beauty, or love fully when you are running on empty. Taking care of your sleep needs is one of the most loving things you can do for everyone in your life, because well-rested, restored people have much more to offer the world than exhausted, depleted people. The fourth obstacle involves partners, family members, or living situations that don't support or understand your new bedtime practices. They may feel excluded when you begin speaking affirmations, confused by what seems like sudden changes in your routine, or uncomfortable with practices that feel unfamiliar or strange to them. Some partners worry that your new focus on conscious sleep means less time for them, or that your healing journey somehow implies criticism of how things have been. Open, honest communication becomes essential here, explaining that these practices are not about them, but about your own healing journey. Share what you're learning about sleep and healing. Help them understand that your commitment to restful sleep will actually make you more present, more loving, more available when you are together. Many partners become curious and eventually join the practices when they witness the positive changes occurring. Others simply need reassurance that your healing journey strengthens rather than threatens your relationship. Zara from Michigan told me her husband initially rolled his eyes at her nightly affirmations, joking that she was talking to herself like a crazy person. But after 2 weeks of watching her transform from chronically exhausted and irritable to peaceful and energetic, he asked to learn the mantra himself. Now they do their sleep practices together, each speaking their own affirmations, but sharing the sacred space of conscious preparation for healing rest. The fifth and deepest obstacle is inconsistency. Starting these practices with genuine enthusiasm and commitment, then gradually abandoning them when life becomes busy, challenging, or overwhelming. This happens not because people are weak or uncommitted, but because true transformation requires believing at the cellular level that you are worth the effort of consistent self-care. Every night you skip your practice, you are unconsciously confirming an old belief that your well-being is optional, that other things are more important than your health and peace. Your healing is not optional. Your peace is not optional. Your rest is not optional. They are necessities for a life well lived, foundations upon which everything else you want to create depends. When you begin to see your sleep practices not as extra tasks added to an already full schedule, but as the foundation that makes everything else possible, consistency becomes much easier to maintain. Understanding that each obstacle carries its own wisdom helps you approach resistance with curiosity rather than judgment. You don't have to overcome these challenges through willpower or force. You simply need to be willing to meet them with understanding, to try again when you forget, to begin again when you get off track, to forgive yourself when you're imperfect, and to return to the practices with renewed appreciation for their power to transform your nights and heal your life. Each of these obstacles dissolves naturally when met with willingness rather than willpower, with understanding rather than fighting, with patience rather than pressure. Willingness is the key that unlocks every door that resistance has closed. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be willing to keep choosing love over fear, peace over struggle, healing over staying stuck in patterns that no longer serve your highest good. As you walk this path of conscious sleep and intentional healing, as you commit to treating your rest as sacred rather than struggling through your nights, life will offer you signs that confirm you are moving in exactly the right direction. These signals come in 3 distinct waves, each more profound than the last, each one a gentle assurance from the universe that your efforts are not in vain, that transformation is occurring whether or not you can always see it clearly, that healing happens in perfect timing when you align with love. The microsigns appear first, often so subtle you might miss them if you're not paying attention, but unmistakably present when you learn to recognize them. You begin falling asleep without the usual struggle, your breath naturally deepening as your head touches the pillow instead of your mind immediately launching into its familiar routine of worry and planning. You notice you're no longer checking the clock every hour through the night, no longer counting how many minutes of sleep you're losing to anxiety, no longer lying there calculating how tired you'll be tomorrow based on how little rest you're getting tonight. Your morning face in the mirror begins to look softer somehow, less etched with the deep tension lines that come from years of restless nights. There's a gentleness in your eyes that hasn't been there for a long time, a peace in your expression that speaks of genuine rest rather than exhausted collapse. These changes may seem insignificant to others, but they represent fundamental shifts in your nervous system's relationship with rest, your body's growing trust that it is safe to let go completely and allow deep healing to occur. You might notice that you're naturally more patient during the day, less reactive to small frustrations, more able to maintain your center when life presents challenges. Traffic delays don't trigger the same level of agitation. Difficult conversations feel more manageable. Your overall emotional stability increases as your sleep quality improves, demonstrating the intimate connection between restorative rest and emotional resilience. The medium signs become unmistakable within the first few weeks of consistent practice, confirming that profound changes are occurring at levels deeper than simple relaxation. You begin waking naturally, often just before your alarm sounds, feeling genuinely refreshed instead of dragging yourself from bed like pulling up an anchor from the bottom of an ocean of fatigue. Your energy throughout the day feels different, more stable and sustainable, less dependent on caffeine or external stimulation to maintain alertness and focus. People begin commenting that you seem different, though they often struggle to identify exactly what has changed. They notice you're calmer, more present in conversations, more genuinely available when they're talking to you instead of seeming distracted or overwhelmed by your own thoughts. Your natural charisma increases as stress decreases, drawing others to your peaceful energy even when you're not consciously trying to be attractive or appealing. Physical improvements that you hadn't even connected to poor sleep begin resolving spontaneously. Madison from Vermont wrote to tell me that her digestive problems, which had troubled her for 3 years and required various medications and dietary restrictions, completely disappeared after 1 month of conscious sleep practices. Her doctor was amazed by the improvement, unable to explain the sudden healing through any medical intervention. Her body was simply responding to finally receiving the deep rest it needed to restore optimal function to all her systems. Chronic pain conditions often begin improving during this phase as the nervous system learns to relax completely during sleep instead of maintaining low-level tension throughout the night. Headaches become less frequent. Back pain diminishes. Joint stiffness decreases. This happens because healing sleep allows your body to release growth hormone, reduce inflammation, and repair tissues that have been struggling to heal in an environment of chronic stress and insufficient rest. The macro signs represent complete transformation of your relationship with night and day, with rest and activity, with struggle and surrender. Sleep becomes something you actively look forward to rather than something you dread or approach with anxiety. Your bedroom transforms from a battlefield where you fight for rest into a sanctuary where healing happens naturally. Your bedtime routine shifts from a series of tasks you have to complete into a sacred ceremony you cherish. Even your dreams undergo remarkable transformation, shifting from anxiety-driven scenarios where you're running from threats or trying to solve impossible problems to expansive, beautiful journeys that leave you feeling inspired and renewed upon waking. Dreams of flying become common, as do dreams of being surrounded by healing light, dreams of conversations with wise beings who offer perfect guidance, dreams of being in magnificent natural settings that feel more real and beautiful than any place you've seen in waking life. Your relationships begin improving as people respond to the calm, centered energy you now carry. Family members comment that you seem more peaceful. Colleagues notice that you handle stress better. Friends feel more comfortable sharing their concerns with you because your presence feels safe and non-judgmental. This happens because when you stop fighting yourself internally, when you find peace in your own being, that peace radiates outward and touches everyone around you. Sometimes confirmations come through synchronicities that feel like gentle nods from the universe, perfect timing that couldn't be coincidence. You might open a book to exactly the page that speaks to your current experience. You might overhear a conversation that perfectly addresses a question you've been pondering. You might encounter the exact resource you need just when you need it most. Dante from Texas told me that 3 days after beginning his sleep practice, he was cleaning out old papers and found a journal entry from 10 years prior where he had written, "I just want to sleep peacefully and wake up healed." Is that too much to ask? He had completely forgotten writing those words, yet there they were. Proof that his soul had been calling him toward this healing for years, waiting for the perfect moment when he would be ready to receive and implement the guidance. The most profound confirmations are often internal, impossible to measure externally, but absolutely real in your direct experience. A sense of coming home to yourself that you didn't even realize you had been missing. A quiet confidence that no matter what challenges the day brings, you have a sanctuary of peace waiting for you each evening. A deep knowing that healing is not something you have to chase, earn, or deserve, but something that flows naturally when you create the proper conditions and align with love. Stay with me now in complete silence for just 5 seconds. Feel this moment. Feel what we have created together in this space of learning and healing. Feel the peace that is available to you right now, in this instant, regardless of what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In that silence, if you were paying attention, your soul was confirming what your mind is only beginning to understand. This work is real. This healing is not fantasy or wishful thinking. This peace is not temporary or conditional. It is your birthright, your natural state, your true home that you can access anytime you choose to align with love rather than fear, trust rather than control, surrender rather than struggle. We have traveled far together in these precious moments, journeying from the familiar territory of sleepless nights and restless minds to the promised land of healing dreams and restorative mornings. From the confusion and frustration of a consciousness that seemed to work against itself to the clarity and peace of a mind aligned with love. Your willingness to stay present through this entire exploration, to remain open to possibilities that might have seemed impossible when we began, to consider that your most fundamental relationship with sleep and healing could be completely transformed, has already initiated the very healing we have been discussing. The journey toward peaceful nights and truly restorative mornings is not a distant hope that might materialize someday if you're lucky, if you do everything perfectly, if circumstances align in your favor. It begins in this very moment, with this very breath, through the simple yet profound choice to speak different words into the darkness of your bedroom, to offer your unconscious mind different instructions, to treat your sleep as sacred rather than struggling through it as an unavoidable necessity. Let me share with you a story that crystallizes everything we have explored together tonight. A story that demonstrates the miraculous power available to anyone willing to approach their sleep with conscious intention and unwavering love. This is about a woman named Cordelia, a name that means daughter of the sea. And like the ocean itself, her sleep had been turbulent, unpredictable, and often tempestuous for as long as anyone could remember, including herself. For 56 years, Cordelia had known only restless nights that stretched like deserts between brief oases of fitful sleep, mornings that felt like climbing out of quicksand, each movement requiring tremendous effort just to achieve what others took for granted. Days lived in the persistent fog of chronic exhaustion, where even simple decisions felt overwhelming, and joy seemed like something that happened to other people in other lives. She had tried everything the modern world offered for sleeplessness, prescription medications that left her feeling groggy and disconnected the next day, as if she were viewing life through thick glass that separated her from genuine experience. Over-the-counter sleep aids that worked for a few nights before losing their effectiveness completely. Meditation apps that promised instant relief but delivered only frustration when her mind refused to cooperate with their instructions. Expensive sleep studies that confirmed what she already knew, that her sleep was fragmented and unrestorative, but offered no real solutions that created lasting change. She had tried sleep hygiene rules that turned bedtime into a rigid military operation rather than a natural transition into rest. Cognitive behavioral therapy that helped her understand her sleep anxiety, but didn't eliminate it. Herbal remedies, dietary changes, exercise programs, blackout curtains, white noise machines, weighted blankets, and every device promising better sleep that had been invented in the past 20 years. Some things provided temporary relief, but nothing created the deep, lasting transformation her soul craved. Cordelia came to one of my workshops in a state of quiet desperation that she tried to hide behind a brave smile. She told me that the previous Tuesday night she had lain awake until 4:17 in the morning, her mind cycling through the same worries for what felt like the 1,000th time, her body aching with fatigue yet completely unable to surrender to rest. She described feeling like a prisoner in her own bed, trapped between exhaustion and alertness, never finding the doorway that would lead her home to peace. As she spoke, tears began flowing down her cheeks, and she said something that broke my heart open. I feel like I'm dying a little bit every night. Like each sleepless hour is stealing pieces of my life that I can never get back. I'm so tired of being tired. I'm so tired of trying things that don't work. I'm so tired of hoping that tonight will be different, only to find myself staring at the ceiling again, counting hours until morning comes to rescue me from another failed attempt at rest. I taught Cordelia exactly what I have taught you here tonight. The sacred breathing that signals safety to your nervous system. The 7-word mantra that reprograms your unconscious mind. The practices of forgiveness that release each day completely. The protection decree that creates sacred boundaries around your sleep. The golden light visualization that transforms your body into a temple of healing. I watched as skepticism and hope warred in her eyes as she listened. 56 years of disappointment struggling against the possibility that something so simple could address something so complex. That night, Cordelia went home to her bedroom filled with 40 years of sleepless memories, to her bed that had become associated more with struggle than with rest, and tried something she had never done before in her entire life. Instead of approaching sleep as an enemy to be conquered through force, effort, and willpower, she approached it as a friend to be welcomed with love, respect, and trust. She placed her hand on her heart, felt the soft cotton of her favorite nightgown against her palm, and whispered into the familiar darkness of her room, "I sleep in peace. I wake in healing." What happened next defied everything she thought she knew about her body, her mind, her capacity for rest, her relationship with the night itself. As the words left her lips, as they settled into the silence of her bedroom, like seeds finding perfectly prepared soil, she felt a warmth begin in her chest that she had never experienced before. It started as a tiny glow, like a candle being lit in the darkness of her heart, then began spreading slowly through her arms, down into her abdomen, flowing into her legs like honey being poured from some divine source of sweetness and comfort. Her breathing, which had been shallow and anxious for more decades than she could count, suddenly deepened into a rhythm that felt ancient and familiar, as if her body were remembering something it had known long ago and forgotten through years of struggle. Her thoughts didn't disappear completely, but they began to soften and fade, like voices heard through water, present but no longer demanding immediate attention, urgent but no longer overwhelming her capacity to choose peace. For the first time in 56 years, Cordelia fell asleep, not through exhaustion, not through medication, not through sheer determination to force her body into submission, but through peace. Pure, simple, natural peace that felt like coming home to herself after a lifetime of wandering in foreign territory. She slept for 8 uninterrupted hours, the first time that had happened since she was a child, and woke feeling something she had thought was a myth, something she had heard other people describe but never believed she would experience herself. Genuine rest. Not just the absence of tiredness, but the active presence of vitality flowing through every cell of her body. Her muscles felt soft where they had been tight for years. Her mind felt clear where it had been foggy and confused. Her spirit felt renewed where it had been depleted and discouraged. She told me later that she felt like someone had given her back not just a good night's sleep, but a part of her soul that had been lost so long she had forgotten it was missing. Within 3 weeks, Cordelia's entire life had reorganized itself around this new foundation of restorative sleep. Her chronic back pain, which had required daily medication for over a decade, diminished to the point where she could go days without even thinking about it. Her anxiety, which had been her constant companion since childhood, lifted like fog burning off in morning sunlight. Her relationships deepened because she finally had the energy for genuine presence instead of just survival. She called me after 30 days, crying tears of joy and disbelief. I had forgotten what it felt like to wake up happy, she said. I had forgotten that mornings could be something to look forward to instead of something to endure. Sleep has become my daily miracle, my nightly return to wholeness, my most trusted ally in creating the life I always dreamed was possible, but never believed I deserved. This transformation that occurred in Cordelia's life is not unique to her circumstances, her personality, or her particular challenges with sleep. It is available to you right now, in this moment, through the simple yet profound choice to believe that your nights can be different, your mornings can be different, your entire experience of rest and renewal can be transformed through conscious intention and unwavering commitment to treating yourself with love. The power to heal your relationship with sleep lives not in some expensive treatment or complicated technique that requires years to master, but in your willingness to speak love over yourself as you transition from waking to sleeping, in your choice to offer your unconscious mind words of peace instead of worry, healing instead of fear, trust instead of control. You have traveled this far in our journey together. 49 minutes of presence, of openness, of hope cultivating itself in the fertile soil of your consciousness. This is not coincidence. This is not random. This is alignment. The universe has guided you to this exact moment, to these specific words, to this particular teaching, because your soul is ready to reclaim the peace that has always been yours, ready to remember that healing sleep is not a privilege reserved for other people, but your birthright as a living being worthy of the deepest rest and the most complete restoration. Place your hand on your heart now and feel the steady rhythm that will continue long after these words fade into memory. The faithful pulse that connects you to every moment of life you have ever lived and ever will live. This heart that has carried you through every sleepless night, every anxious morning, every weary day, through every moment when rest felt impossible and peace seemed like a distant dream, is about to receive the greatest gift you can offer it. The gift of conscious rest, deliberate peace, intentional healing that transforms sleep from struggle into sanctuary. What we will speak together now is not hope floating in the realm of possibility. It is not a wish cast into the darkness, hoping for favorable winds. It is not aspiration that may or may not manifest, depending on circumstances beyond your control. What we speak now is decree, the moment when your soul claims what has always belonged to it, when your voice aligns perfectly with the voice of life itself, declaring truth so fundamental and unshakable that the entire universe has no choice but to comply with love. This is your moment of sovereign choice, your declaration of absolute worthiness, your conscious return to the peace that never actually left you, but was simply obscured by years of believing that struggle was necessary, that suffering was inevitable, that restful sleep was something other people experienced, but not you. In this moment, that old story ends forever. First, we speak in whisper, like the most intimate secret shared between your conscious and unconscious mind, a gentle confession of what you now know to be absolutely true about your nature and your needs. Whisper with me now, letting the words float on your breath like prayers offered to the sacred intelligence that beats your heart without your effort. I sleep in peace, I wake in healing. Let them settle into your chest like seeds that have been waiting your entire lifetime to find soil this fertile, this ready, this perfectly prepared for growth. Feel how these whispered words create space in your ribcage, how they make room for peace to enter where tension once lived, how they invite healing to flow where struggle once blocked the natural movement of life force through your being. I sleep in peace. I wake in healing. Whisper them again, feeling their truth beginning to take root in the deepest soil of your consciousness, where transformation happens not through force, but through love. Now we speak with normal voice, clear and certain, no longer hiding this truth from yourself or from the world, no longer apologizing for your need for rest, no longer questioning whether you deserve the peace that every living being requires to thrive. I sleep in peace. I wake in healing. Let these words flow through you like a river that has finally found its natural course after years of being dammed by fear and self-doubt. Feel how your body responds to this declaration, how your shoulders naturally drop, how your breathing instinctively deepens, how something ancient and wise within you sighs with recognition and profound relief. I sleep in peace. I wake in healing. Your nervous system is already responding to these words, already beginning to reorganize itself around this new truth, already preparing to support the reality you are now claiming as your own. Now we speak with full authority, with the voice of someone who knows beyond any doubt that they deserve rest, that they deserve healing, that they deserve to wake each morning renewed and restored rather than depleted and discouraged. With the voice of someone who understands that peaceful sleep is not a luxury to be earned, but a necessity to be claimed. I sleep in peace, I wake in healing. Let these words ring with the certainty of universal law, with the power of consciousness aligned perfectly with love, with the authority of someone who has remembered their infinite worth and refuses to accept anything less than the complete restoration that is their birthright. I sleep in peace. I wake in healing. You are not asking permission from life. You are not begging for rest. You are claiming what has always been yours. Now the identity that flows naturally from this truth, the new understanding of who you are and what you deserve that emerges when fear dissolves and love reveals what was always present. Whisper first, letting this new identity settle into your bones, into your cellular memory, into the very foundation of how you understand yourself. I am peaceful sleep. Feel how this sits in your body, how it rewrites the story you have told yourself for years about who you are and what you can expect from life. Say it now with normal voice, allowing this truth to echo through every system of your being, every organ, every cell, every molecule. I am peaceful sleep. Let it reverberate through your consciousness until it becomes as natural and unquestionable as your name, as familiar as your own breathing, as certain as your existence. Now declare with full power, with complete conviction, with the absolute authority of someone who has awakened to their true nature. I am peaceful sleep. Feel these words transform you at the deepest level. Feel yourself becoming the very peace you have been seeking, embodying the rest you have been craving, living as the sanctuary you have been longing to find outside yourself. Do you remember the question I asked you at the very beginning of our journey together? Why your mind becomes most agitated precisely when you need to rest? Now you understand the answer with perfect clarity. Your mind was never your enemy. It was your teacher, showing you exactly where conscious choice needed to be exercised, exactly where peace needed to be deliberately selected over struggle, exactly where love needed to be chosen over fear. Every restless night was not punishment for some imagined failure or evidence of some irreparable brokenness within you. Every sleepless hour was preparation for this moment of recognition, this awakening to your power to choose differently, this remembering of your ability to speak peace over yourself and trust your body to respond with the healing rest you deserve. Your agitation was not evidence that something was wrong with you. It was invitation, calling you back to the love that heals all things, including and especially your relationship with rest itself. If you have stayed with me through these 56 minutes, if you have done this sacred work of remembering who you are and what you deserve, if you have opened your heart to the possibility that everything about your sleep can change starting tonight, I invite you to become part of this community of conscious healing by subscribing to this channel. You have already demonstrated that you are ready for transformation. You are already part of this circle of souls, choosing love over fear, peace over anxiety, healing over struggle, rest over endless striving. In 21 days, I want you to return to this exact place and share your victory in the comments below. Tell me about your first truly peaceful night, that moment when sleep came not as a battle won, but as a gift received. Tell me about your first morning of waking healed, feeling renewed in ways you had forgotten were possible. Tell me how this practice has transformed not just your sleep, but your entire relationship with life itself, with your body, with your capacity to trust that you are worthy of the deepest peace. Some of you will choose to leave a coffee in the comments below, not as payment for what you have received, because healing cannot be bought or sold, but as energy planted in the garden of love that returns to you multiplied in ways you cannot yet imagine. Whether you do or not, whether you subscribe or not, whether you comment or not, please know that I am here for you, holding space for your healing, celebrating every step of your journey back to the peace that is your natural state. Remember always, you do not sleep alone in this vast universe. You sleep surrounded by divine love, protected by the same universal intelligence that beats your heart without your conscious effort, that grows new cells in your body while you rest, that heals your cuts without your direction, that breathes life into your lungs while your conscious mind dreams. Every night from now forward is a return to this sanctuary, this temple of rest, this sacred conversation between your finite human form and the infinite love that is your true nature. As you close your eyes tonight and every night hereafter, as you place your hand on your heart and speak these words of peace, as you allow your breathing to deepen and your body to soften, know this with absolute certainty that nothing in this universe can shake. Your healing is not hope waiting to be fulfilled. Your peace is not a possibility that may or may not manifest. Your rest is not a reward you must earn through perfect behavior or flawless thinking. They are truth you simply remember, reality you simply claim, love you simply allow to flow through you without resistance or struggle. The words you speak into the darkness carry the power to transform not just your sleep, but your entire existence, your whole understanding of what it means to be human, to be vulnerable, to be worthy of care and tenderness and the deepest possible restoration. Use this power well, beloved. Use it often. Use it with the gratitude of someone who has finally come home to themselves after a long journey through the wilderness of believing that peace was somewhere else, that healing was for other people, that rest was a luxury rather than a necessity. You have found your way back to the truth. You are peace. You are healing. You are rest itself, expressed in human form. It is finished. It is done. It is already so. From this moment forward, you sleep in peace and you wake in healing, not because I have declared it, not because you have hoped for it, but because you have claimed it as your birthright, spoken it as your truth, embodied it as your reality. The universe always says yes to love, and love is what you have chosen. Love is what you are. Love is what sleeps peacefully and wakes healed every single night for the rest of your blessed life. Rest well, precious soul. Rest well.